continue. Now, last week, BBC in the Central Region, KOMENDA Sugar Factory, whole controversies now, no, Bebre, I don't pay Yebedi and home Komoka Kram. I mean, the former secretary to the KOMENDA Sugar Factory board that one more SAT, to ensure, sir. KOMENDA Sugar Factory no ebetimi aye adwuma ho nhyehyeye ene ho ntotoye ne nyina no na wono edi emu akotene ye ansa na yetimi amasa project no etimi aba under John Dramani Mahama, but the outcome of it ene said the niema ne nyina no esi ekono anopay wono atenase a obetimi akyeye mu ma yetimi eho. The information we are getting is that probably so to speak yemfa say roughly by the end of this month KOMENDA Sugar Factory no ebetimi ashase Vanni Amoah and Anope Beneno Edin Komo. Vanni, good morning. Bibi Aboko there.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. And first of all, KOMENDA Sugar Factory, no, I shall say as we speak. Ufi KOMENDA nebe, right?
Oh, Onyanza or Statori Juma. But why a test run?
Test run.
Yeah.
Our factory.
Why my yata said why a successful test runs too. Until by the end of the year or this year ending, we be start why a Juma. I'll be commercial production. You see, Oman Penina Kufado, Saturday, Obe and also the Obabe commission in the grand style. It has been my concern since 2017 that the factory should be operationalized. Until not my shine there, Obe Juma. Until my President Akufo-Addo became. I think then call a success story or then call beer or you're concerned about the sugar factory biano or you need some zaman. But unfortunately, on ye need some enfama or man Ghana. The reason you're there, the rationale behind the establishment of the sugar factory or your KOMENDA Sugar Factory in there, on the Ghana, ye esichre or money munintino. Esichra yezi wo omanmu nyinara ana woze ye adwuma na azin and wakra amanazin wazaba into obe ohube hia de ye be produce sugar locally yeze ahwere befa efrim na ye process yenya esichre yenya other byproducts ono so ozi income every company no enwa na that purpose na or the which is about homegrown policies na azino the current administration will deviate from it, but rather what will be imported, be often a raw sugar. Say your sugar, the first products or your crystallized no, or your brown. Into all now will be imported from India. No was a be juma for the next 3 years. And sana so beshe ashir is a juma waye. And that is a bad thing because I mean me who there.
But why should that be a bad thing? Because with the factory at SEO all these years now yentimi operationalize the factory no equipment there dear woman no rotate investor ba na making and reinvestment of the whole thing now. Do we necessarily have to wait after say you're making new installations? Say you could do sugar cane no ama aba and sand yetimi enya access to raw materials.
Mr. Speaker. In the first place, there is no investor. Investor be anyo. Onye investor be ana or your KOMENDA Sugar Factory. It's Ghana government. The company is owned 100% by Ghana government. You can check from Registrar General currently. It is 100% owned by Ghana government. Now, Ministry of Finance no hold the company no in trust of the Ghanaian people of this nation. To nobody holds shares, not a 1% share of the company.
But sometime by the deputy trade ministers told us they were looking for investors. You bet me capture the sugar factory under the one district, one factory initiative. Yes, and if you are telling this morning, sir, such persons be no MI. I know for the very first person no contract any idea no me and we pay, but the assurances were that still it will be captured under the model of 1D1F. Said you bet me and will be or also be only a large chunk of shares. You bet me ama company no aye operational. But I'm hearing something different from you.
But Emi Mansana means I'm just telling you the facts on the ground.
Okay.
No investor be a new KOMENDA Sugar Factory. So when you go to KOMENDA Sugar Factory, iben who there India brofu bi oha worry ejuma.
Okay.
So in who India brofa, you may think they are there as investors, but rather no, onam the factory nesi for the past 5 years onye ejuma dano was opedo ye ejuma or there were renovations binaze atasa even the factory ni pori ye ejuma mpo or when she share there or there were routine maintenance and servicing of the factory because machine biano or there is service machines now but company West African Agrotech.
Okay.
Watco.
West African
Agrotech. Watco. Or your Indian company obese wa Ghana. When you match there, what ton or your friend then tractors na farm implements. Into them company no and a ban another Ministry of Trade and Industry. One month them a contract the 1 year contract into one will renovate or your Komenda Sugar Factory with an amount of $11 million US. And now was sounds 1 month since was signed a 10 years contract with that company. The 1 year or then management contractor.
Okay.
On manage factory no. Emma, the government of Ghana,
so
not as an investor.
I mean, here, what could add the $11 million?
And yeah, what could also a ban was $11 million.
What could for renovation works? Okay.
And was signed a 10 years contract, and that 10 years contract, you know, every month, apart from the what could what the Indian expatriates are.
Okay.
And our employ some Ghanaian management staff when you only juma. Into the factory ni juma. So them our man paying by the close of the year or best start our juma no. What you want juma for every month we are. The company or your Komenda Sugar Development Company Limited no. Or best also with your management fee of $50,000 US as I'm a Watco.
$50,000
US.
Okay.
As I'm a Watco. Then every year we declare profit. 20% of the profit will be paid to Watco for the management services. Until Watco is not there as an investor or invest 1 CD and now 1 peso or invest $1. And I'm saying it on record because this is a national television. You can call Prince Boating because maybe there or Kasawa, other radio stations and TV stations where he's been granting interviews. He's the Ministry of Trade PRO. Bisan. They say if there is an investor, I will Komenda. Machines are during our tenure, you're installing all these machines are there.
So how were the renovation works?
What they've done in there. What they've done in there one. Oh yeah, Komenda Sugar Factory. It was not designed there. Ibotum afa raw sugar aba neza be refine or Komenda. More there in there. What's it? Or end-to-end production.
Okay.
Or there is a sugar cane, as a bar milling house. Now machines no on mill canes no chinsuno onions no dan the nyua esichire byproducts na zinina or generate 3 megawatts of electricity. I be used to assure sound at the husk of the sugar cane. It generates energy so that the factory will not depend on the electricity company of Ghana. And I don't go to diesel, no from the power, ne plants, no that you juma. Until Sisiano, one word but they will be called import to raw sugars abanuntino. Why build the silos? The silos were not there. Like a silo, I hope you know. Storage was the best store. Them raw sugar now was the baba.
Okay.
Now we too more refined. And your friend and what's it? Because of raw sugar now was baba no. Already your warehouse kesuho, but we'll build another warehouse because for the purpose of importing the raw sugar.
Okay.
And so although that one of the warehouse will store the raw sugar now and some will refined. Then when we are was about baby a final product, you know, or a finished refined products also was bogu. So these are the works away of which the Wasan are building. I'm telling you what is there. Wasan will build a water reservoir to in addition to the old one
okay.
And why some concrete slab where or baggers, sugarcane husk.
Okay.
You know also why build another concrete was the bogudo. But what I have been asking in the factory in Kojo Asher Nemfanzi Juma Next also, a bagage, but you know, the reason, into make sure that all your machines that were installed, or your state-of-the-art machines, were made to understand that these machines are installed between 2014 2016, no, over 50 years lifespan, over 50 years lifespan. So yeah, good maintenance. Your service machines, no, yeah, maintenance, or build more than 50 years, and the warranties, so our machines no or a 10 years warranty atasa into a big show there. Why? Because I heard Mr. Asamoah Boateng, former MP for my constituency in Fantaman, saying there these are the new machines which is palpable force. When you that installation be out of them.
Vanni, there is a statement the honorable Mutala Etroy Marin Kai Kakra na yentu ankomodie so or issue no on the 7th of September 2022, I say reclaims that Komenda Sugar Factory was completed under the NDC Force Trade Ministry PRO. My attention has been drawn to a statement made by the PRO of the Ministry of Trade and Industries with caption claims that Komenda Sugar Factory was completed under the NDC Force. The Trade Ministry PRO in the said publication, Mr. Prince Boateng, the PRO of the Ministry of Trade and Industry, when giving an update on President Akufo-Addo's visit to the factory over the weekend, made the following misleading statement in an interview with an Accra-based Top FM. The previous government started and brought the factory to a certain stage, but the truth is that the factory was not operational. Some parts were not even installed. That was the extent to which the work on the factory has reached, but it was not operational. But now, by the grace of God, the parts that were yet to be installed have been installed. He stated while giving an update on President Akufo-Addo's visit to the factory over the weekend. I would like to use this medium to set the record straight, and as I provide the following. It must be clearly put on record that the John Dramani Mahama-led NDC government contracted $35 million from the Exim Bank of India as a first tranche of credit facility to construct a brand new state-of-the-art sugar processing factory at Komenda in the central region of Ghana. The contract, the scope of work, including engineering, procurement, and construction of the plant, was supervised by the National Federation of Cooperative Sugar Factories Limited of India as the project consultant. The contractor was Ceftec India Private Limited based in Mumbai, India. The selection of an Indian project consultant and the Indian project contractor was part of the loan conditions signed between Government of Ghana and the Government of India. The consultant and the contractor of the factory handed over a complete factory with all the contract specifications as stipulated in the contract document. It goes further to give us emphasis on some of the major things but with enkomodie I say raw materials to the production and not very important. I say the second tranche of the loan, which is $24.54 million was approved by Parliament of Ghana in November 2016, which was to be assessed in February 2017. It was meant to develop the raw materials, sustain the factory's production. The factory ought to develop 40% of the needed raw materials, and part of it would have been used to help the outgrowers to expand their farms in order to supply 60% of the raw materials. Before the loan of $24.5 million was approved by Parliament, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, acting on behalf of the Government of Ghana, entered into an agreement with a Ceftec Indian Private Limited to develop a 125-acre nursery plantation, which ought to be transplanted onto the 10,000-acre farms by the end of the year 2017. And some of the things, according to the Honorable Mutala, Tamale Central, in supply of raw materials and kebetimiaba. Now the question again is, Sansika no anankese access in 2017. Edibia afidi edi na Sansika no efa. How is it that Komenda Sugar Factory no were told? Sir, there were no raw materials a betimi feed factory no. If there were such facility a Parliament, Emma approval say monkoji sika nfai.
Speaker, on the raw material. That is the reason why I make the decision to import raw sugar. No, it does not make economic sense. Also, there one, government hand it over. No, will bequeath to you a complete factory, machines BBI ready. Then 120-acre nursery plantation, just as Mutale's statement has clarified. And by February 2017, or they access them alone, no, then they started there. Yes, busy Juma, dozen of the farms over 10,000 acres now. As you assume power. I remember on the 3rd of November 2017, the Minister of Trade and Industry, or Parliament, Cape Coast South and Rashebe Gwenyi Rikitig and Bisan them alone, no one. And Alan Chematin confirmed there but because in Zimbabwe, so they are in the process to assess that is on record. You can check.
Yeah, and, but even before the assumption, but even before the assumption of the NPP government in 2017, factually, in 2016, it was a very big topical issue within the campaign season. Say, Komenda Sugar, you're causing loss to the state because after test run, no factory 9.
See, the issue is this: the factory was supposed to be completed by November 10. They complete that's the contract. But test run before because now machines or your processing plants was over there what tests no should they be better now claim say or your production period since we are just as a radio station now was set up for what's a test transmission now for some period before wako into whilst if you remember a plant was commissioned so obia obaho at that time na Kessben one Nana Teria and another one correspondent. Kessben FM that time in Kumasi. And Nana Teria was there. You can ask Nana Teria. Now there were other 4 works now or ongoing because contract scope say or they will read the whole project by November. But machine area no May. You will not wait till they read everything in November. And send a test machine there as they produce, you can produce or not.
Yeah, just as fanfare, Mama Ghana for your impression, they say you recommend sugar factory, and be produce sugar for us to consume as Ghanaians. Into importation now, air banning now, so better only for us to know, say later on, we shut it down for other works to also complete. But Mama Ghana for that level of understanding.
That level of understanding, I spoke on so many media platforms explaining the rationale behind the commissioning. But let's fast forward. I'm paying the call also why a test run, but it will be the end of this year and we'll be starting production. And so why are you not saying that I'm paying a test run? So that this year was started there. What other production?
Yes, but I'm paying cancer as a one country as the Komenda Sugar Factory, as 30 years.
And nobody said, buddy, me, I was the official spokesperson. I was the director of communications, and you can quote me anywhere. You can Google our statements and never did I say anywhere there. You start a commercial production. What we were saying is this is a test production that we are doing. Until there wasn't anything like that. But the raw material issue, very, very important. So let's go there. Bosiano by February or Juma. When they assume power, the critical issue are working in the factory in Yejuma because of raw material. So you've spent 5 years in government. You've not also grew the raw material, but your reason is to import raw sugar and refine here. So it be somewhere there. I commend Nana Akufo-Addo that at least Anya Krampono about today on Mampinin John Dramani Mahama Naban will approve a loan for Pokwasi interchange. Once now what them alone or engine on Fanye Pokwasi interchange to ease traffic in Accra. Oje the ye, meanwhile on your no ye, them and she say no. So we're expecting there like a $24.54 million now. Predecessor so Parliament or approval in November 2016. No. Na kode jidemaskano na kedi a raw material base because you remember last year October on Mampenyin na Adodan Akufo-Addo Betko there. We built Komenda Sugar Factory to them a started roof foundation. So sebi them a junior in your door then carry raw material and sand AC factory so a renovation to start production. Why didn't you start it? So even last year when I started there, raw material base now talking about importing sugar.
Do you have the indications at $24 million naba for the outgrower
to the best
are we able to secure that
to
facility?
the best of my knowledge 1G. That is what I know. Yes.
Up to now.
Mami minimien.
It's a wooden for the outgrowers to use in terms of plan. Why do you for the government? Because government person function.
As I make a share with Pokuasi interchange, the loan for Pokuasi interchange, the loan for Obeche interchange, they were all approved in 2016. On your President Akufo-Addo. But obey no waji oziri ejuma e magana funyan de na bredo ejuma rekodo. So why them a loan of 24.5 million engineer fanye other raw material base no na factory produce early so that you be reduced to them importation. But now this plan no is giving a room for more imports. It will add up to the import bill because already there are sugar importers we import badado abano so be import bia kanwa. It means young sugar bill no obokoso the imports will go high. But of the matter, the reality on the issue there from 2016 Kessben. Because I've been nosing around on Komenda Sugar Factory certain things because there are some people, some importers who are working around to ensure that this factory will.
I see.
Yes, and some of them are in bed with the government. So what the government is commending on, it is rather to enhance the business of the importers, but not to solve the problem of minimizing the importation. Because otherwise, the government has said, away with their predecessor, when they are answer no receipt. Who predecessor when you see because also the short term no obe depend on outgrowers now or no. So that the minimum requirement are 150 tons a day no. These outgrowers can even produce between 300 tons. So in the medium and long term, let's take the second tranche of the loan and develop sugarcane no, so that when we go into the full production period, that time no, we will not lack raw materials. You've not done that, but you rather having this in offending accusations and counter accusations as in nature, you know, into many raw material, no, and you are also doing offending the same thing. Even imposing your West because you are rather important, not to depend on the outgrowth.
I this way for clarity. O concern no problem, no. Is it the case a factory no be yejuma? And now who much problem with the fact a factory no be yejuma, but farmers no will be left out. Which
exactly.
Is clarify
because that. You know the agro processing. This is an agro processing factory. So Oba over there a month when you're home for so, and we've been encouraging the youth. Especially youth in agriculture. So people are having that now there's red market if some look into the cultivation of sugarcane. Because within the 100 kilometers radius, Samudia Ashura Komenda Sugar Factory here, or your B41227 and B36464. There's ready market for me. Into the Ebenazintina, Mundia Ashur in the lies can I supply ma or your Komenda Sugar Factory. But rather importing, no, it means that these sugar farmers, no, unejuma on kodoma one. Because them Ashura would diana or Sisiano. It's either there is a baye esichiri, another is a baye. Ensa a mukrum ejafo waye apetishi ofenu mula ono na waze ye onya ashura sab ami ana owo ekondo ashura ye kotono erin onye onu bi onu into inform produce esichire. But the sad of this issue nye there the 125 acre na ye developing no Mr. Alan Chematin, the Minister of Trade and Industry, ashura na owo dem land no 2018 July 2018 os for ton dem ashuni nyina ma apetechi distillers a ebi no fimu krom wokoto ashre no e wo Komenda ma company bi a wo emem ahafo wo friend mem Cashew and Agricultural Products Limited where alcoholic beverages brandy na mo keke ka ho what the cashew no ye but that company no was there when that ashre so itum a distill na ze ensa into no they want to use sugarcane into them plantation no Mem Cashew was a trailers articulators back Komenda. What between assure is a call in the half. So you ask yourself there, the factory no only more daughter esichire your friend sugar cane if you a farmers one knows this Jumano, rather than the factory was selling sugarcane to
you
the
cannot
sellers.
fault the trade minister because as at that time, no, factory not yet ready.
No, it was ready, but he was not ready to do the production.
Maybe per your own assertion, the factory no cannot be ready at the time. My test run. So my test run.
I'm talking about 2018.
Maybe. In 2018, the factory was not ready. Per your own assertion, right? Now in 2016 November. Presumably you have told us in 2016 November, unnecessary factory the year ready, but you did a test run of the machine in May,
and you were supposed to do the production in 2017.
And you were supposed to do the production in 2017. Now there was a loan facility at Parliament approval. Said 2017 no
February.
Yes. The minister told you so presumably 2017, 2018 we couldn't do anything up until now. Now presuming say sugarcane no akwiafo ni duaye no up to now. Have you thought of the losses akebetimi aba akwiafo no wo mo a agi loan e de share kwiayo ni mu dua ahwede no yentimi am produce ahwede na amfa ma factory no because the factory wasn't functional no. Have you thought of the losses and kombenya as farmers? It is a company biaba no more beto isn't it in a good faith say farmers no ebe recoup back wo musika wo shame
there was sugarcane no onye farmers individual farmers biazo 125 in a Ghana government naza waye or a nursery plantation or your transplants them 125 no every 25 acre biano or cover 2,000 acre at asa so it will cover the whole 10,000 acres which will be owned by the factory at asa and you are talking about raw material base. That is why they told us we should have grown the sugarcane before building the factory. And you catch on there in setting up a sugar factory we do backward integration, we don't do forward integration. In backward integration, sugarcane is a perishable crop. Into so also for some time then you're ready to use it or be perish at asa backward integration. So in the short term depend on the outgrowers non supply. 1 year the mazi in the make sure we're there. If talking about planning on the raw material, this is what we did. Yes, secure loan more. Therefore, be a balance the same. A balance the same. No, then can you share then kapoko say ye? Can them no then can commend us so be loan no nanka ezaye. And you've not done that. You are still talking about the raw materials. And I'm saying the raw material now. About 2 down you sold that raw material to Apeteshi distillers and Mem Cashew brandy, which is not helping Ghana.
Vanni, my clarify side way. There was a publication done on November 29th. Okay, 2016.
Yeah.
And this is what you said to Peace FM and Peace FM Online. Komenda Sugar Factory start production today. Okay, the management of the Komenda Sugar Factory Development Company Limited says it will start commercial production today, 29th November 2016. Mr. Ransford Vanni Amoah, Director of Communications and Strategy of the company, said consumers will start patronizing the made in Ghana sugar by the end of the year 2016. Okay, he explained that the sugar factory, which went through series of test run between May 30th and June 30th, 2016, has come to stay, and it will be and it is important to give hope to all sugarcane farmers within the catchment area and the sugar consumers in Ghana. The test run was to enable the machines to be tested and also enable some of the operational staff have a better understanding of the about the operations of the sugar processing plant. We also want to use this opportunity to call on sugarcane farmers within the 100 kilometers radius of the 6 hours drive of the factory to arrange to sell their sugarcanes to the factory to enable it go into a full-time production. The community plantation and canes department of the factory have concluded the sensitization and community education program in various communities within the catchment area to give necessary information and encouragement to the farmers who wish to work with us, he added. Mr. Vanni said the Komenda Sugar Factory Development Company and its stakeholders have come out with a proposed competitive price for purchase of sugarcane to feed the factory. He said called on the sugarcane farmers who cultivate the B41227 and B3646, which are the required varieties, and those cases can reach the factory within 6 hours of cutting, to contact them for further discussion. These were the words with the Maya in 2017. 2016 November 29.
Yes.
So you were given the assurance, a factory ashasia a year juma.
Yeah, I gave the assurance based on the direction from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, because one, the factory, as I said earlier, by November or the factory were complete. So as at the time we completed the buildings, everything, that was in November, and that November the company Oil Seftech India Private Limited, they've handed over to the Ghanaian management. So at the management, I was the director of communications and strategy for the company, apart from being the board secretary and a member of the board. So I issued that statement because we had planned to go into the full production, because although worker and February 2017, but looking at it, the BBA now let's go into
so that was absolutely propaganda.
No, it wasn't.
It
wasn't.
Let clarify issues one after the other. One, in your explanation, Ghana Nibia 81 one my say in May 2016 test run of the processing plant.
Exactly.
Good. For one more to understand how our plant in the BCI, but there were still auxiliary works are necessary. And in it good faith, company nanke fully operational by November.
Fully completed,
whichever way, by November 2016.
Sure.
Now, this is an article of an interview I won Peace FM or Peace FM online grantee on 29th November.
I issued a statement.
Okay. On 29th November 2016, telling us say factory fully completed and operational. And as at the time I wore my side and we were in the heat of the campaign season. I know. And that assurance after December no yantishi about Komenda Sugar Factory, only for the NPP government to come to power and still feel say in the last 5 to 6 years, company idler what went wrong in that period?
Yeah. The issue near there. One, we as the management, we informed the ministry, that's Yewe BBR, and now we shouldn't wait for February 2017 before we go into the full production. So let's do the production. So the contracts that we signed with the off-takers, yes, that I'm test one. So we some machine they started there. Then the Ministry of Finance ordered that we should stop the production because one, the funds are what they call handing over Snazina area. So we should rather wait after the election. So machine was even started for 2 days. And upon instruction from the Ministry of Finance, where the funds are coming for the production, because I showed you everything I used to be a Sikana Ezra. So it's, and I remember this issue. I told you at your former place.
Yes.
And I had one-on-one with you one morning, and I told you about this particular incident.
Yes, but because the Ghanaians are surprised, if by November, now factory are you ready? By December.
Please, hand over now, Mekano. I'm not saying you hand over my aban. Mr. Day, Seftech, the company, handed over to the Ghanaian management team. They handed over to Ghanaian management team. And the managing director, friend Douglas Mensah, Aofi Bono Sabie in the Bono region. And I'm in Central.
So, by November 2016, na Indians, in hold of the
company. No, they were still there. They were supposed to be there for 2 years, so that we'll be to the Ghanaians staff when you go through before they will leave. By
7 December till the end of December 2016, the assurance was that factory na a and in another danko ekufado ni NPP in the buyer or muja factory see. Is that the impression you want us to have?
What I want to do there, to them, the PRO is saying there, the factory was completed. No, that is what I want to clarify. That everything be our contracting be was completed. And you know, say if you are talking about as our on your completer, it was a contract. Kessben FM and Kessben TV Bay. Meaning there's more be the on channel CC ha. On provide the mics, be a 4 mics or 5 mics. On provide this console no you pay this particular brand and na mo keka. See we na se nipa kono wan we are you try na call on kwa. You don't do that. Atasa the loan no and the mutala kecho loan now work with no and she saying there India for yen first come on and fan kama any other nationals. So you must select an Indian contractor, an Indian consultant. No be you human more because they expertise in sugar factory, another sugar production. India, the whole world, want to do too. They have more than 500 sugar factories. Into all expertise or into no. They first did the bidding selection and they shortlisted 3 Indian companies. India as a Ghana. Then in conjunction with the Ministry of Trade and Industry, work on behalf of the Ghana government. Indian High Commission. What bidding? Emma Seftec India Private Limited. We need a bid to build the factory for us. Then the civil work, it was in the contract that the civil should also be done by a Ghanaian company because the machines in a sugar factory were handing to me that at least buildings there should be a local content. So Civoco Limited. The late JB Dankwa Edune company. So. Yeah, he was.
So he stopped you in November. Didn't stop
production.
My test run. And now it was on operation.
The funding.
At that time it was in operation. Because it's a Ghana's property. Because
it's the Minister of they've prepared their handing over notes. That time was about a week to election. It was about a week to election.
And we know district assemblies.
Mani explain what kind of question. So Mani explain that you've seen that. Because I think this conversation will put a close to it at the time I would here. Na Ministry of Trade and Industry.
Yes.
And I'll offer myself anytime
I resolve all this control.
Anytime you call, I'll offer myself.
The Komenda Sugar Factory. Vanni, my main now I say, I got you for what they told you, no, na young